All right, welcome back. I'm just checking out Texas from some of the state legislators saying they're not getting out until 8. So they're either punished or something's going on, but they're on lockdown. And I think Jason Serenier was telling me some guy's talking up there. I don't know if he's retiring or something, but anyway, I promise you we get them on before this Bayou time was over, but I might be breaking my promise because they're not getting out till 8 o'clock. So we'll see. We'll still try, but it don't look good for the home team to get their comments. So we'll continue the discussion. I'm sure it's not going to be over with today, but we'll see what happens. HTV, thanks for holding on. You're on Bayou time. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Martin.
How you doing tonight?
All righty.
Good.
Yeah, I agree with Tricky Rick that the taxes ain't going to go to the education, that's for sure. All we got to do is look at the lotto tax.
Yep.
And I've been a smoker for a long time, and going up on my cigarettes ain't going to make me quit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just going to have to pay more taxes, huh?
Well, I've been paying the same amount of taxes and the same amount they're going to add on if they pass it.
Yeah.
But I asked the voters to remember what they did with the lotto tax.
Yeah. So you think, let me ask you this, from a standpoint, so you're an admitted smoker, and you buy cigarettes and you pay your taxes.
28 years.
Yeah, it's not so much the tax that you're concerned about, it's what they do with it when they say they're going to do something and do another thing.
That's it. You know that money ain't going to go to education, just like lotto. Is a whole bunch of money for years supposed to went to education and never went.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a quarter of it.
Right. So you feel you've been duped by the legislators?
We've been duped many times.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, that goes back, that gambling tax goes back forever. I can't even remember who was in office when that took place.
They started gambling in Louisiana.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I'm sure somebody out there knows. And
yeah, I don't know either. I don't gamble, but I smoke. So. Yeah,
well, I appreciate the call. So you just think it's the hypocrisy of they say they're going to do one thing, but they never do it.
That's it. They just don't do what they say they're going to do.
All right.
They want to get some revenue, drop a few of them dead heads in the governor's office over there.
All right, thanks for the call.
All right, boy.
All right, bye-bye. HTV, welcome to the program. You're on. Go ahead.
Good evening, Martin.
How you doing tonight?
Martin, when does it stop?
I don't know.
Thank God for Governor Jindal. How about a novel thought? Quit spending so dadgum much money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was waiting to hear the other side, which is what you're saying, but you hear different things, and once again, I think everybody's opinion gets mixed up because they're either angry because the money didn't go here, the money didn't go there, but sort of what I was alluding to with State Representative Dove, he just said no. We just vote no. So I think that's what you're talking about.
Well, the gambling money is going to education, Martin, but they pulled back the regular state funding. So they put the money in from the gambling, that revenue, and then the state, in the other pocket, they pull the money out that the state normally funds education with. So instead of having the normal state revenue for education, they pull that back, and then they fund education from the gambling funds, but you still don't have the combined revenue.
Right.
So you have a shortfall.
Yeah.
But
what do you think? What do you think? Go ahead. What do you think about the gamesmanship that was done today? Now, I just thought it was interesting that the governor vetoed a bill, and then they tagged it on to a Senate bill, and I thought it was pretty gamesman, and that was pretty tough politics if you're in Baton Rouge, because normally you don't trump the governor like that, but they did it today.
Well, I'm not familiar with all of that. I missed the first part of the show, Martin. But, the typical liberal spiel is, let's tax somebody else's ox. I'm not getting gored. I don't drink and I don't smoke. But cigarettes are already being smoked or taxed out of the wazoo. So is alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
But, Martin, the thing was, well, let's fund health care. Let's get all of these sin taxes and put them all in one bucket. Okay. Now, Martin, let's see. You got a boat?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, everybody knows people go out on the water and get heat stroke. You know, that you get sunburned. You know, that puts a burden on the healthcare industry. Got a motorcycle? You know, people have injuries with motorcycles. They get head injuries, go into a coma for years and years. Let's put a sin tax on the motorcycle. You like beef?
Absolutely.
Well then you could give you a coronary artery disease. So, you know, we're going to have to put a sin tax on the steak.
Right, right.
You go camping?
No, I hadn't been. I hadn't been on vacation in a long time.
Well, you go out there in the marsh, and they got those mosquitoes. They carry encephalitis. It's camp all kind of camping gear.
Yeah.
You know, I shoot firearms. Okay, and everybody knows that prolonged exposure to gunfire, it damages your hearing.
And I see your point. You're just wondering where it's stopped. A lot of people want to send taxes, and I think, in fairness to them, they're picking some more major ones. But I see your point. I mean, it could go on and on and on. We could be here tomorrow morning still talking about what we could tax.
Martin, where does it stop, though? When does the people recognize that it's not the government's responsibility to finance everything you do from cradle to grave? Where does personal responsibility come in? You're responsible for your own health care. You're responsible for raising your own children. You're responsible for putting groceries on your own table. Get a job. Where does it stop?
And you won't find an argument from me there, because you know my number one word that I like to use, that I am anti whatever, is entitlement. I'm always, you know, entitlement to me is just, it's probably what raises my blood pressure, so I need medical help, so I need the tax entitlement, you know. But I mean, it's entitlement to me, everybody gets in the feeding line for something that they wouldn't really need, but since the government's giving it out, let me get in line and get it.
Well, Martin, it's funny that they didn't decide that they were going to fund the board with $2 million to study whether we need a cigarette tax for 10 years.
Because it's not a levy.
Yeah, but I mean, they normally fund the board to review everything.
Oh, I know.
And spend $2 or $3 million to decide whether we need a tax or not, and then the board gives their recommendation, and they ignore it anyway.
No, I hear you loud and clear, and I see exactly where you're going. But I mean, I understand people on the other side want to have an opinion, but that's why I'm saying, let's bring it to the people. Let's find out right here, once and for all in Louisiana, how many true conservatives we have and how many liberals we have. And to me, this is a pretty good way to find out, although you can't identify a smoker. You have some smokers that are conservatives and some smokers that are liberals, so it won't fit in that respect, but you can pretty much find tax-wise where you stand on this thing.
Jason's usually pretty good on researching things, Martin. Ask him how much taxes are on cigarettes now, state, federal, and local. I think you'll find out that there's already a tremendous burden on the cigarette smokers. They passed a tax not too many years ago, a sin tax. It may have been a federal tax, but you know, cigarette taxes are already taxed tremendously. So is alcohol. Right. And with that, I'll get off the telephone. Bid you a good night. And
appreciate you insight.
Somebody else a chance to call.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. HTV, welcome to the program. You're on. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Martin.
How you doing tonight?
All right. I was just wanting to ask, does anybody hold an accounting of the prior taxes on cigarettes?
No, that's what
Where did they go? Where did the revenue go? And
that's why I was hoping to get Representative Harrison on the phone, because he has all of that information. He was prepared to give it to us. The problem is they're in a lockdown, and I can't get him on the phone from Baton Rouge. And they keep texting me, him and Gordy and everybody else. They're in a lockdown, so they can't talk. So, but I will continue the discussion, and y'all having some good questions in the public tonight. It's just going to keep this thing going during the week, and we can better answer those throughout the week. So we'll look it up. I'll get Jason to try to print it out.
I don't think we'll find out either where this tax would go either, because I mean they're so into their own.
Well, this is just a renewal of the current tax. This is not a new
I
tax.
thought it was a 4 cent more tax.
It's a renewal of the current tax, which goes to education. Okay, well,
I don't think it's going to go there, Martin.
well, I mean, and that's your opinion for sure. I mean, certainly a lot of trust was lost when all the gambling monies didn't go where they were supposed to. But it's a 4-cent portion of the state cigarette tax, and it redirects more than $40 million a year in tobacco settlement proceeds to TOPS college scholarships.
Well, I done learned one thing tonight about our legislature and government and everything, that some in there are really sneaky.
Well, look, you know, to me, it's pretty gamesman. You know, sometimes the governor, when he vetoes something, the governor is king, and nobody touches the governor. But I'm finding this legislation, these legislators, so to speak, are challenging the governor on a lot more issues. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying I notice it. I remember when Edwards was in office, or Foster was in office. They challenged Blanco quite a bit when she was in office, but when Foster and Edwards were in office and they vetoed a bill, nobody challenged it because they had some serious clout, I guess, to redirect amongst their allies in the legislation. For some reason, the governor over the last few weeks, they've been really challenging the governor, and they're going back and forth. So obviously these issues that they're talking about are very heated and vary from constituent base to constituent base. And so a lot of legislators are saying, I'll be doggone if I'm going to governor on this, and I'm going to get hammered in my own revote when I got to run again.
Well, that's pretty darn sneaky. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, that's what you call politics.
I thought when the bill was dead, when the governor vetoed it.
Yeah, but no, it ain't dead till it's dead, and it's not dead yet.
Good Lord, there ain't no telling how long this could go on.
Well, it's actually going to go to a vote for the people now. It's going to become a constitutional amendment, which is going to go to a vote of you and everybody else.
Are they going to have to change the Constitution to pass this bill?
It's a proposed constitutional amendment, so it'll be an amendment.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it'll be an amendment.
Well, our freedoms are taken away so fast.
But I understand, just another amendment, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling your inside for sure.
Okay, dear.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Jay, do we need a break? We good? All right, well, HTV, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Marty.
Martin. How you doing?
This tax thing, you know, this all started in '95, if you remember back.
I was trying to remember the year.
Bad year for us.
Okay.
As fishermen and all, but I remember when them teachers come up there, and they was going to do a whole lot of things for them with this gambling stuff, you know, the casino stuff and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what, the state's going to charge taxes, the federal government's going to charge taxes. But where the problem is these people in Baton Rouge, these representatives and senators and governors, they tell you it's for one thing. They get people to go and help them get these things passed. Then after these people help them, they turn around and take the money. They do everything but what they're supposed to do with it. You know? I mean, I was up there in 95, 96, and 97. I mean, I stayed up there for about 10 years. And I tell you, it's unbelievable how a man can come over here, politics, you know, tell these people all kind of lies and stuff, you know. Well, I call it lies because I've seen it, you know, but I mean, a lot of other people seen it too, where they tell you, well, I'm going to do this for you, I'm going to do that for you, I'm going to do this. They can't do nothing for you. When they tell you all of that, when they're campaigning, they can't do nothing for you because you got all these other 100 and something people that got to agree to it. And what happens? They argue, and say, well, if you want a pasture for that cow, well, you got to give me a pasture for my horse.
That's
and
right.
If you don't, you know, and that's how it is. They trade off, and what they do, most of the time is the innocent people that they're supposed to be supporting and fighting for, these, like the teachers and all these other things. They just take it and they don't concern nothing about it. They just do what they got to do, and I mean, to get where they want to be in that political arena.
Well, I think you make a lot of sense. I think what people need to do, and I've always been refreshed by the man or the woman that says when they're running for office that, all right, here's what I can't do, here's what I won't do, here's how I stand on these issues, and I promise you I'll fight like hell when I get to Baton Rouge, but I can't make you a promise because I don't know where I'm going to be. But when I get up there, I promise you I'm going to vote my conscience, and here is my platform, here's what I believe in, and if you want that type of person, vote for me. But I can't tell you what the vote is going to be because I don't even know what the bills are going to be. And I'm sort of like you, quit promising everything,
Yeah. You got some of them up there that stick to the gun, you know what I mean?
They do.
They fight for some of the
I think we got a lot of locals that stick to the gun. We got a lot of locals that are all over the place, that you never know where they're going to end up. But, yeah,
But I tell you what, you got these lobbyists that come in there. When they start coming in there, ooh, Lord of mercy. I've seen the checks fly in 95. I've seen them personally, you know.
And that is one thing that...
all of them that
one thing that drives me crazy.
That was pointed out, they should have all served time.
Yeah. Lobbyists to me, and I know there's some good lobbying causes. I think lobbying causes for education and lobbying causes for it, but, to be wined and dined by lobbyists all the time, there's no way that if I ever went to Baton Rouge that a lobbyist would be my best friend.
Oh, no.
How do you get to that point?
Well, you see, like me, I was a fisherman and CCA. Well, they had Johnny Coke and Bill Bass and all of them, boy. Every morning, boy, they would shake my hand and rub my shoulder. But when we got in that committee room, oh, man, the blood flew,
Oh, yeah, no, I
But
understand.
that's what they're there for, it's a job they got to do. And look, some of them are good at it. And like me, I quit smoking shit like 35 years ago when my dad had died. And
Right.
I believe a person that wants to quit smoking or quit anything, like me, when I quit, okay, my daddy died. I said, well, now I got to do the rest of my life without my daddy. And it's the cigarettes that killed him. So what's going to happen to me and my family?
Well, I got
So what I did, I just quit.
We got the overall, the all states average is $1.45 per pack state cigarette excise tax, and Louisiana ranks 49th at 0.36. So out of all the states, we're at 0.36 when the average is $1.45 per pack, and so we're 49th in the amount of tax on cigarettes.
When I quit, it was 35 cents a pack.
Yeah.
So,
did you smoke the one? Did you smoke the ones with the filters?
It's your politicians that's got to make that commitment. When they make that commitment and it passes, they need to stick to that commitment, but they don't.
Yeah.
They give in to certain groups that say, well, we need this money for this, when it's not for that, I mean, that's just like if you're building a levee. That money is for that levee. So why you got to use that money to go buy a truck to get to the levee? You got to build a levee first, It's all that side stuff that they buy, then they ain't got the money to do what they got to do, So, but like I said, it'll go round and round and round, But,
well, all right. We appreciate the call.
Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, we do have to take a break. I hit it too fast. I forgot. Jay told me we had one call. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm coming right back to the phone lines. Don't go away.